So today we're going to be talking about Dawson Cemetery, and this comes from newmexico.org, and it's just a brief little description of the town and the graveyard. Dawson was once a coal mining town close to Cimarron, and throughout the beginning of the 20th century it prospered. Sadly, an accident led to its tragic end. In 1913, an explosion at the mine killed more than 250 men, making it one of the worst coal mining disasters in American history. Another disaster took the lives of 123 miners in 1923, and now all that remains of the town is a cemetery. It's got a reputation of one of the most haunted places in New Mexico, and for good reason. Visitors who are brave enough to explore the cemetery at night have reported back with strange findings. Some have seen lights, reminiscent of those on the front of mining helmets, and some have even seen ghostly apparitions wandering among the tombstones. The story of Dawson has gotten the Hollywood treatment. Netflix's Emmy-winning show Godless was filmed in New Mexico and based on the mining accident.
This is Dawson Cemetery, as another haunted location here in northern New Mexico. The phenomenon supposed to be occurring here is that back in its day, this was a mining town, and there was two separate cave-ins which basically killed most of the miners, and their spirits were supposed to be here in the cemetery. There are ghost lights, and the lights are said to be the lights from their carbide lamps from their helmets. So we will be checking it out and see if there's anything here. Yeah, these are pretty old. This is 1919. We're trying to find the graves where the miners would be, so we're looking for a very old. Here is a tombstone that has been knocked over, and as I've said in the past, when we have cemeteries that are desecrated a little bit, sometimes we get activity. Very, very old cemetery. You can see a lot of these have been vandalized. This particular one here, either that or it's just very old. Let me see the date. 1916. It's not kept up very well. I have popped. Okay, we found the graves of where the miners are. We have these little crosses right here. There's hundreds of these things throughout this entire area. There's hundreds of them. Some do not have names. Some do. There's no dates, but assuming by the unmarked headstones, they're all identical. We're assuming these are the miners, so this is where the activity would take place. So far, we haven't seen anything. We're going to stay out here for a little while and see if we can actually find these things or not. It could just be an urban legend. Well, we spent quite a few hours out here last night, and we got nothing indicative of a paranormal event of any kind. Nothing but normal EMF readings in the cemetery. We didn't see any kind of lights really of significance. So that either means this is one of those kind of things where you had to be here at a certain time to witness the phenomenon, or maybe at a certain place, maybe even, or it's just another urban legend. So, who knows?
So my memories of doing ghost hunts and investigations at this cemetery were very mixed. On one hand, it was definitely the feeling of an urban legend, because when you talk to people, it's they said, or it is claimed to be. There's never, oh, so and so saw it, where you could go talk to that person and, where did they see it? What side of the cemetery? Near the gate, near the back, what's going on. The other part of it was, it's actually a very beautiful cemetery. There's some tombstones that have some amazing metalwork on them that I haven't seen in other graveyards. And it's also kind of sad that that many men lost their lives and that their graves are all grouped together the way they are in the cemetery in two distinct places, for the two accidents. So over the years, we've conducted 3 investigations of this site with people watching the cemetery and the surrounding area, looking for anything that could be interpreted as paranormal or a ghost. And eventually, the Southwest Ghost Hunters determined that there are 2 things that might be attributing to this. The first is the wind whipping through the canyon creates some really weird sounds as it moves through the graves that are fenced off. To us, it sounded more like a whistling noise more than a moan that is suggested by the ghost stories. Another problem is there's small groups of some type of insect, I'm going to assume gnats or something, that when they're illuminated by a flashlight, they do kind of look freaky, and it could be the source of the apparitions that people are claiming to see from a distance. However, it looks much more convincing when that distance is over 20 feet. But we never really had anything strange happen out there, so my gut tells me that it's just an urban legend. But who knows, maybe one of you out there on the internet had something unusual happen to you, and if so, please put that down in the comments. I would be very interested in knowing if you had a paranormal experience out at the cemetery. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And that does it for this one, and we'll see you in the next one.